The Darnell Bros Garment Factory has just been added as a purchasable property in GTA Online, but only a few people genuinely know the lore behind this property. So today in this video, I will go over the complete history of the Garment Factory. So without further ado, let's jump into it. So currently right now, I am standing in the Garment Factory in GTA Online, and the Garment Factory was added with the latest DLC, the Agents of Sabotage DLC. But the thing is that we've been to the Garment Factory many times before. Honestly, some of us have been going here almost 12 years, but the Garment Factory has gone a complete overhaul. So after the DLC came out, I kind of went back and kind of looked at the complete history of the Garment Factory, and it just kind of astonished me just how much like this place has really changed, just how much has gone through here. So yeah, we're gonna be going over the complete history of the Garment Factory. Now, before we actually start going over the history of the Garment Factory, I want to preface one thing, and this thing is actually pretty complicated. It's not a very clear cut, like this is how it is, just because GTA didn't really make it out to be very clear. But in this video, I'm gonna be going over the exact timeline of the story of GTA, not necessarily the real life timeline. That probably makes no sense, but let me explain. So currently right now in game, the time is set to 2024. And then obviously like last year, my character was standing in the year 2023 when I was playing the game in 2023. Okay, I think we can get that. But that wasn't always the case though with GTA Online. That's a weird thing with GTA Online. I've been doing a little bit more research on it today and just kind of blowing my mind. So GTA Online, when it launched, it was supposed to be a prelude to the GTA 5 story mode. And for the first 4 years, it could definitely be argued that it definitely was the prelude. So, well, actually, the first 5 years or up until 2017. So every update from 2013 to 2017, all the way up to the Gun Runners DLC, was technically the prelude for GTA 5 story mode. But during the Gun Running DLC, Agent 14 did say that we're in the year 2017, which pretty much signaled that we are past the GTA 5 story mode era. But I bring that up because the Garment Factory was actually used in GTA Online for a decently sized role. It was a decent role during those prelude days. And that's where we're going to start out. We're going to start out there. So before GTA story mode technically takes place, we start up GTA Online, you know, we just created our account, and then we get this call from a guy named Lester Crest. And he says, hey, I have an opportunity for you to do some robberies if you want for me. And we have to meet him somewhere. And guess where do we meet him? We meet him in the Garment Factory. And this is going to be the first time in GTA Online, and actually the first time that we are really introduced to the Garment Factory. So we walk in and we talk with Lester Crest, and he kind of gives a whole rundown. And pretty much he's telling us then to go out and purchase a high-end apartment so we can start up Heist. We can have a little Heist planning room in our high-end apartment, and then we can go ahead and start Heist from there. And then he also kind of gave us a little bit of the rundown for the Fleeca job, kind of what he has in store for the Fleeca job. But yeah, that all took place inside the Garment Factory in one of these rooms. Like, I am assuming it's this room right here. So yeah, this is technically where that happened. And then during the Fleeca job, we had to come to the Garment Factory during both of the setups. And then actually for the finale, we had to come here and pick up the armored Kuruma that was just outside. And then we had to go to the Fleeca bank. But we always came to the Garment Factory because Lester Crest was running his operations out of this Garment Factory. So there we go. We did that heist, and then we don't do another heist with Lester Crest for a while. So we go ahead and do the prison break heist. We do the Humane Labs raid heist. We then meet up with Trevor and do the Series A funding heist. And then Lester says he has a very, very big job for us to do. We have the Pacific Standard heist that we can go ahead and do. And then this time with the Pacific Standard heist, not all of the setups really go to the Garment Factory, but a lot of them still come to the Garment Factory, right? So the van setup, we have to deliver the van to the Garment Factory. During that Pacific Standard hack setup, we have to deliver the hacking supplies all the way back to the Garment Factory inside of that van. But yeah, that's the only two setups that we really have to come back to the Garment Factory. And then we complete the Pacific Standard finale, and we come back inside of the Garment Factory. We come back inside, and Lester gives us our final payout and whatnot. And then we kind of see how Lester is a little bit confused. Like, he's really asking us about the picnic, you know. But yeah, once again, that all happened in this room. But then for the final cutscene for the Pacific Standard Heist, where it gives us the Pacific Standard Heist completion screen, we come up to the roof of the garment factory. We're coming to the roof of the garment factory, and this is the view that we get. Now, it's currently nighttime, but you usually get it during daytime. You look out over the whole skyline of Los Santos. But yeah, you're on top of the garment factory. Probably a lot of people don't even really understand that, but yeah, we are getting that cutscene from the top of the garment factory. So then we walk out of the garment factory. After that, we're dumped back into free mode, and that is going to be the last time in a while in GTA Online where we actually go to the garment factory. So for the GTA 5 timeline, we have to come back to story mode. So we jump into story mode, right? And Michael needs some money. So he calls up Lester to try to do a heist, right? And Lester says, yeah, I got something that we can do. So yeah, that's going to be the beginning of the jewelry store robbery. Now for the jewelry store robbery, your base of operations is going to be out of the garment factory. We are back here at the garment factory, but this time as Michael or Franklin. So yeah, we go ahead. Nothing much other than just a base of operations though with that raid on the high-end jewelry store. So yeah, we go in, we rob that jewelry store, we go out, you know, we get all that money, and then we alert someone. We alert someone that's pretty far away. We alert someone by the name of Trevor Phillips, and now Trevor wants to get involved, and he misses Michael Townley. But yeah, anyways, the jewelry store job was the first ever heist that we did during story mode, and it all started here in the garment factory. But then we have some more heists that we gotta do, and we don't come back to the garment factory. So we do the Merriweather heist, we do the Blitz play, we do the Polito score, and then once again we come back here for the Bureau raid. And once again for the Bureau raid, this is going to be the base of operation here in the garment factory. But this time, as we're starting up the Bureau raid, the opening cutscene of the Bureau raid, Lester and Michael actually burn down the factory. And they did this to cover up any evidence of them planning a heist. And also Lester wanted to claim the insurance on the factory. And if you choose the roof approach for this raid, you can actually fly over to the garment factory and you can see the garment factory in flames. That's the crazy thing about it. This place, the place I'm currently standing at right now, was in flames at one point. But anyways, yeah, so this thing is up in flames, but you still got to do the Bureau raid. So you go and do the Bureau raid, you complete it, and then let's say you try to come back to the garment factory. Well, I mean, the garment factory looks the same for the most part, except for the main entrance. The main entrance for this thing, there's actually caution tape. There's caution tape that is blocking the front entrance of it, and that signals that we're no longer going to access the garment factory during story mode. And that's pretty much it. That was pretty much it for a long time. So story mode was set in 2013. The GTA Online heist that I talked about earlier was set prior to 2013. Probably, like, I would probably say a few months ahead of the main story mode. So yeah, let's just say both of those happened in 2013. Now we jump all the way to this year, 2024, the end of 2024. It is a few weeks away from it being 2025. So almost 12 years later, and there's actually some more things that we can do with the garment factory. So since this building was put up in flames to the point where we can actually go ahead and purchase the Darnell Brothers garment factory, Lester obviously put it up for sale. And then someone out of nowhere tells us that we should actually go ahead and purchase it. And it's actually Pavel. Somehow Pavel is written into this story, but Pavel's like, yo, you should purchase this garment factory. And once again, we can use the garment factory as a base of operation. But we're not utilizing upstairs. We're not actually utilizing upstairs a ton. We'll go down here and we utilize the basement. We utilize this basement right here. We have like a 10-car garage that we can go to. Here's Jody Marshall right here. We can store my terabyte in here now. But yeah, I mean, you can look at it. The garment factory is back in business. I mean, there's still a lot of boxes out here too, which is actually pretty crazy. There's actually a little bit of an Easter egg in one of these buckets. So let me see if I can find it though. And this is it right here, actually. And in here, we actually have like Bugstar's gear equipment. And this was for the jewelry store robbery. So there's a little hint to that. And you can kind of see it's all burnt too. It's all burnt because, well, it was set aflame. A little bit of it at least. Enough where we can actually still see what it is. But that's kind of cool. But anyways, we can come down here and we have this new business. And we can go ahead and do these things called FIB files. So once again, we can just keep doing pretty much much just mini heist over and over again. We don't need to set the garment factory on fire to kind of destroy any of the evidence. We have things under wrap here, so we can just keep doing these things over and over again, except for the priority file. I can only do that once a week. Or I don't know, maybe if I do it more than once a week, then we'd have to set this place on fire. I don't know. Maybe that's why they're only allowing me to do it one time. Yeah, this job has already been completed this week. But anyways, it's a pretty good way to make money. It's a pretty good way to make money in GTA Online. And after you complete one of the jobs too, Lester messages you, or no, he actually emails you, and he says, I have a margarita in one hand and I have a check for the garment factory in the other hand. It looks like you purchased it along with many other things. And then he says something like retirement is fun. And then he says Georgina says hi. So in 2024, he is still with Georgina, which that is what? It's been a 5-year relationship for him. So I guess congratulations, Lester. But yeah, even though he's not really ingrained with the game anymore, there hasn't been any new updates with Lester since the Diamond Casino heist, he still makes a slight cameo here. He makes a slight cameo saying, hey, congratulations, you purchased the garment factory, go do your thing. But that's going to be the history for the garment factory in GTA. So I don't know, just a little bit of a recap. We start out our heist journey with Lester here in GTA Online. We do the Fleece job, then we go ahead, we do the Pacific Standard heist, and then we jump over into story mode, and then we do the jewelry store job, and then the Bureau raid. But after the Bureau raid, Michael and Lester set this place on fire. They were not allowed to go in it for a very, very long time, up until December of 2024, when Lester finally puts this thing on sale, and we go ahead and snatch it up from Maze Bank foreclosure because Pavel told us to. And now me, Jody Marshall, and Pavel, we run our operations out of the basement here. We make a lot of money, while also the garment factory upstairs is still kind of making money, but it's not a great way to make money. But yeah, that's pretty much just a summarized rundown of the garment factory history. But yeah, this is very crazy. I don't think there's really any other business that kind of has the history like this. I'm sure there's other buildings that have been utilized like a lot during GTA Online and GTA Story Mode, but I really think none has as rich of a history as the garment factory. I mean, this place has gone through so much. It's gone through so much history, which is even crazy to say. It's gone through so much history for a video game, but I mean, this game has been out for almost 12 years now. But anyways, that's going to do it for this video. Make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on post notifications so you don't get to miss out on my King of Paleto Bay series. Make sure you check out this video right here if you want to see me start out as a level 1 in Paleto Bay in GTA Online.